We are live. Hi, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I think we're live. Right. Awesome. Woohoo. All right. Hopefully we are live and we are ready to go. Hi, everyone. My name is Coach Kayla. I'm an online plant-based dietitian, nutrition, and one coach. And I'm here today and we're going to be talking all about our hearts and heart health because February is Heart Month. So the American Heart Association has 1 month a day to raise awareness around heart disease. And this is a topic that's actually very dear and near to my heart. And actually, heart disease is still one of the number one chronic diseases that people die from. I believe it's in the United States. I know COVID is up there as well now, but I know heart disease is still up there. So definitely something that we still want to be very mindful about. So I want to give you guys some, nutrition tips on how to keep our hearts healthy, as well as exercise, things like that can all be good for our health. But we're going to talk about nutrition, what foods, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about that and get into that. First, just a thank you to our sponsor this month. So Virtual Veg Fest sponsor this month is Rebel Cheese. So thank you so much, Rebel Cheese, for sponsoring these talks this year and to allow Virtual Veg Fest to allow me to have this opportunity to speak with you all. And also as well, if you guys could just comment below and say hi, shout out to me, let me know you guys are on, and let us know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know that as well. So let's get into it. So when it comes to nutrition that's important for our hearts, we want to make sure, actually plant-based foods are the best thing we could eat. We want to reduce our saturated fat, the amount of cholesterol in foods. But more saturated fat is what we really want to focus on, is limiting that. And a great way to do that is if you eat whole food, plant-based foods, you will be able to eat very minimally amount of saturated fat. So, and also trans fat. Trans fats, they've actually limited a lot from our foods, which is great. The food companies have really kind of eliminated trans fat because we know that is not good for our hearts. There's still saturated fat, so we still want to watch out for that. You can look at food labels, but probably the best way really is to just avoid, really limit those processed foods. And I know that not everyone can do that. So just be mindful of that and look at your food labels and how much saturated fat has in it. But in general, your whole food, plant-based foods, your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, your plant-based proteins, these are all low in saturated fat. And that's why even those that are not specifically vegan, as dietitians, we still encourage people to eat low-fat protein foods like legumes and beans because they are lower in saturated fat compared to your animal meat. So, hi, Jeannie. Thank you so much for joining. Jeannie's tuning in from Knoxville, Tennessee. Thank you for being here. So we're talking all about heart-healthy foods. So we want to limit the saturated fats, as I said, and we also want to eat more healthy fats and omega-3. So, as I said, the biggest thing to focus on is our fats. So instead of saturated fats, we still need some fat, right? We still need to eat fats. We shouldn't be limiting our fats completely. We do want to have some, so we want to eat more healthy fats. So those healthy fats, just to give you guys some examples, are going to be, let's see, what's a good example? Avocados are a great example. You may call it a vegetable, but I do consider it as well as a healthy fat. So avocados are great. Nuts are great. I am focusing more on our whole food sources, but obviously like olive oil, kind of those things as well would still be heart healthy. But our nuts, as I said, are great. Walnuts are great for heart health. So those are all healthy fats that are really good to focus on. When it comes to butter, this comes up a lot. You can, if you use a vegan butter, it's probably going to be less in saturated fat. But another alternative you could use instead of butter as well is called a plant stannial. And that's which you want to focus, or what you want to have more, that's more kind of heart healthy. But I believe the vegan butter is lower in saturated fat, so that is good. What else? Oh, and omega-3s. I kind of just listed omega-3s, but that's kind of the healthier, really the healthy fats are omega-3s. So we got our two omega-3s. We got our omega-3s and our two omegas. We got our omega-3s and omega-6s. In general, most people we want to have both, but in general, most people are higher. Their diet, our American style diet, is higher in omega-6s and lower in omega-3s, when we actually want to get a balance. So we want to spike up, or want to eat more of those omega-3s, because those are more of our heart healthy fats. And those are exactly foods that I kind of just listed there as well. Or avocados, or nuts, or olive oils, things like that, are more heart healthy. And another thing that is heart healthy as well, that some of you may also be super excited about, is dark chocolate. So if any of you like chocolate, dark chocolate is in fact good for our heart. So that is something you can enjoy. Obviously, we still want to enjoy it in limited amounts. But if you are eating more dark chocolate, that means it doesn't have milk or sugar in it. So it is healthier and it is good for our heart. So you can enjoy that chocolate. As I said, just make sure it's dark chocolate. I suggest 80-90%, dark is where you want to get the benefits. So those are just some things with heart, based on nutrition, what are good for your heart. And then also as well, things that you want to avoid that are kind of more lifestyle kind of factors, but obviously, no smoking, and also exercising, limiting alcohol as well, and just increasing that exercise, getting activity every day, getting at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week is a good place to start if you're not someone that really exercises. And you don't even have to, really think about this as exercise. We really just want to move our bodies. But it is important to get that heart rate up, and that does help strengthen and keep your heart healthy. But it is important to do both. I do know on the other side of it, those of you that have that may kind of know me a little bit or have seen me in here before, I am a runner. My background is running. And there are people that have ran and their heart fails during a race, and that does happen. So I have people come to me and, that I'm, helping, and they're like, well, why does it even matter if even I see, marathon runners dropping dead because of their heart? So why does it matter how I eat? But everybody's different. Everyone has certain genetics, but in most cases, heart disease there may be some genetics there, but it is mostly lifestyle. So there is a lot of lifestyle factors and diet factors and things that we can do to decrease our chances of having a heart attack. And as I said, it's still very common, and still heart disease is one of the number one causes of death. That's still very, very common, and actually is why it's so near and dear to my heart. Is my grandfather had heart disease and passed away from his heart failing. And that was, very hard for me to see somebody that just didn't exercise, did eat steak and eggs and potatoes, and that's just what he liked to eat. But it wasn't good for his heart. I did last year, actually ran in the Buffalo Marathon in New York for the American Heart Association for him, in memory for my grandfather. So that is why heart disease as well is so near and dear to my heart. And also as well, another fact as well about heart disease, actually it's more common in women than you would think. So I believe more women actually have heart disease and just don't know about it. So very important to know the signs and symptoms of heart attack and all of that as well. But we won't get into that too much. So I don't want to make this talk too long, but just to summarize all of that, what I talked about today is, really it's important for heart health to choose heart healthy foods. And those are choosing our healthy fats, more omega-3s in our diet, like our avocados, our nuts, our olive oil, and also dark chocolate. And really just trying to eat more whole food, plant based, and really limiting that saturated fat in our diets, getting exercise, not smoking, not drinking alcohol, and participating in some movement and activity every day, or at least 5 days a week, getting that heart rate up. That's all going to strengthen our hearts and make our hearts healthy. And also, as well, it's just very important that we find balance. That is the most important thing, is to find balance. We don't have to, if you don't like running, you don't have to go out and, start training for marathons, ultra runs, those kind of things. We all just want to find some balance, and we want to, make sure that we're working on these lifestyle things and are at least just educated and know what we need to do if we do have heart disease in our family. Because just because you have heart disease in your family does not mean that you can't do something about it by changing your lifestyle. So that is my talk for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Of course, if you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to comment below, tag me, or reach out to me on social media as well. You can find me on social media. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram is the Plant-Based RD. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But thank you guys so much for coming. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys take some of these tips and start using them. Maybe start eating some dark chocolate and let them, people ask you, just let them know, well, I learned from Kayla, that's a dietitian, that told me that dark chocolate is good for my heart. So go ahead and eat that dark chocolate. So thank you guys for having me, and I will see you guys next month. So the first Wednesday of every month, I will be live at 7:00 Eastern time. So join me next time for our talk next week, and I will see you guys then. Bye.